So, I had hoped to finish 2 scenes 2 days ago, and one ballooned wildly into a 6,000 word behemoth that I wasn't expecting it to. So I had to finish that yesterday, and then I worked on the second scene, and it is not coming as easily as I had kind of hoped when I sat down to write it. After the previous scene, I sat down going, okay, this one's going to be easier. It's not. The characters themselves in this scene aren't dealing with much in the way of tricky emotions, but metatextually, this is a stickier subject to try to deal with. It is a bullying scene involving themes of homophobia, or biphobia, or lesbophobia. We don't really know what the character's really thinking. Mostly, I think she's just trying to be mean. But it's very difficult to try to write that scene in a way that comes across as not too much, not too stereotypical, and not too out of the blue. I fear it's going to seem like the scene is unwarranted. It's not. But I'm trying to do it very carefully in a way that alludes, foreshadows, hints, without being like a really tactless neon sign of oh, notice this. No, just maybe notice this. Nah. It's trickier than I was hoping it would be, and it is one of the worst examples so far of, okay, this is very hard as I'm writing it, and the second I'm done, it's very hard as I'm writing it, but I feel like I'm doing the best that I can, and the second I stop writing it, the second my fingertips come off the keyboard, I go, that was absolute ass. What the fuck was that? And I'm hoping it's gonna be your typical case. Oh, this seems like ass immediately after writing it, but when I come back to it, the next day, a week later, whatever, then it's gonna seem fine. Then it's gonna be okay. Not gonna be a big deal. But this is the worst example so far. I have that feeling the strongest right now. I have the feeling of I'm gonna read this back and just go, what the fuck were you thinking? I don't know. So, I'm going to try to finish up this scene. When I do finish it, it's going to involve removing a large chunk of the outline. So I might try to do that as I write the scene. And then the next scene should be easier. But then again, I said that last time. The next scene isn't going to deal with anything really emotional. We're just going to move the plot along a tiny bit, and I noticed an error right there in the outline. It's going to start out very simply, just going to move the plot along a tiny bit. Then, towards the end of that scene, there's also going to be something that needs to be handled very deftly, and I'm not feeling especially deft right now. So I'm trying to use a term that was invented 2 years after the story is set. So that does not help. Earliest possible date of the term is 1994. Story is set in February 1993. Alright, so this is evolving in a very interesting direction that I wasn't actually planning for it to go in, but a very helpful thing for me to introduce at the moment, given where the story is going to go. So, sometimes I surprise myself in very wonderful ways. Alright, so I am a third of the way done. Let me check my word count real quick. My total for the month is about 28,000. So I have done 1,000 so far. So 2,000 more to go for the day. Alright, so I think that works. But now I need to remove this segment from the outline. And that's going to take me back. Alright, I am at a little bit less than 2,000 words for the day, and I'm going to remove 250. Alright. How far am I? I'm at 70%. I'm at 29,000. Not good. Not where I'm supposed to be. But getting vastly closer. I'm supposed to be at 38. I'm at 28. 29. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm going to do another 1,000 today. So I'm going to do another 1,000 today. And depending on what happens with the holiday tomorrow, I may have to do another big catch-up day of like 5,000 to 6,000. Hopefully not, but we shall see. In the meantime, I've got to finish this scene up. Next scene isn't going to be especially big. But then, we end the chapter on the big scene. fully almost wrote a word that's not a word. At least I don't think it's a word. It's not a word, right? Let me double check. It can't be a word. If this is a word, this is like an old English fucking word. I'm deeply curious now. I just made that up in my head, right? It is a word, but it doesn't mean what I tried to use it for. Oh, no. Okay, it is a word. It is a word. It is what I tried to use it for. It's considered obsolete. I must have read it in like Lovecraft or Poe or something. I fully just tried to, instead of the sentence saying, or she had almost let something happen, I just fully wrote down, she had letten. Bitch, do you live in the 1800s? Oh dear. I'm gonna take a break, get some food, and then come back to finish up in a little while. So, let me do my word count real quick. Must do at least another 400 for the day, but gonna do more than that. So, I'm out for now. I'll be back in a few minutes after I go and get some food.
3 hours later.
Alrighty. So, I have about 800 words that I need to do before I finish for the day. Alright, I need to double check something, because this can either be a fun hint that the character doesn't notice, but the reader will, or I mentioned it already, in which case it's a hint of nothing. Let me double check. Nah, I already mentioned it. It's better this way, because it is a bit of a stretch that the character wouldn't notice this hint, but still. I think I need to reread something to double check. Well, shit. Now I have to take this line out and take this scene in a different direction, because I already included what I'm trying to include. Alright, so what else how am I supposed to be finishing this scene? I've already said everything I really need to say, so I just have to find a way to, like, transition out of it and into the next one. Okay, I think if I just take out this line, I can finish up that thought and then fade into the next scene. All right. That marks me done. Scene number 3, aka scene number 4, is finished, and I am at 107% of my daily goal done. So that's what, like 3,300 or so? So let me do a quick little check of what my word count currently is. I'm at 30,137 words. So let me plop that in over on the website. Yep, I did 3,200 today. Gonna do another 3,000 tomorrow. And every day until I either catch up or finish. So, all done. And I'll be back to start a new scene tomorrow.